Good. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Matthew Shack live here in Los Angeles, man. What's poppin'? Welcome to Matthew Shack Unfiltered. First things first, salute to the unfiltered nation. Salute to the unfiltered fam. Salute to the mod squad. Salute to the goons in the chat. Run the likes up for your boy, man. Keep the likes of 50% of the audience, bro. Last but not least, tip your bartender. What's popping, man? What's going on, man? Checking to see who's getting the notifications, man. Chilling, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, hope everything is going good with all you guys, no matter where you are in the world. All right? So, it's time, bro. I mean, I've been getting asked this question and about the possibilities of Trey Hendrickson, Cincinnati Bengals absolute superstar D lineman who led the National Football League in sacks last year. Will he be a Las Vegas Raiders to be paired with Max Crosby and company? Now, before I get started, man, there's a couple things I want to say, man. Okay. I'm just here so I don't get fined. That's number one. And number two, man, I got to give one member of the Unfiltered Nation some respect on his name for pushing this agenda, for getting me to answer this question, because I've really been trying to avoid it. And that would be Unknown Raider Guy, man, who is also a moderator on this channel. He's the type of guy, man, who's not going to let it go. He's going to keep Shaq. What about this? Trey Hendrickson. So I want to give him his perspective. Please put a 1 in the chat for our moderator over here, Unknown Raider Guy, because Unknown Raider Guy has been really pushing it, bro. Unknown Raider Guy has been pushing it hard, bro. He been hitting me on other posts, talking about other things, asking me this. So I've been avoiding it, man. I ain't gonna lie, man, because it's like these kind of conversations, man. It's kind of like, I'm kind of like, why talk about something that's a rumor? But there seems to be a little smoke now. Okay, all right. So I printed this up, man. If I printed this official like a referee's whistle, and I'm gonna also have to give props because this is Hondo Carpenter's article, okay, that I printed out on all this paper, bro. Okay, because I want to use him as a reference, because he's somebody who is a lot, he's a lot more, in the know. And so I'm going to go ahead and read this verbatim. So I want to tell you who the source is. Hondo Carpenter, man. Salute to Hondo, because he does his job. And that's all that matters, bro. It don't matter if you're a fan of the team or not. Just do your job, bro. I do my job. Okay? He does his job. You do your job. All right? All right, so here we go, man. I'm going to read this article, man. Then I'm going to give you my synopsis. All right. So it says right here, exclusive, per Hondo Carpenter, Raiders are the front runners for Trey Hendrickson per NFL executive. Now, this is why I'm reading it, because according to him, he got told by an NFL exec what it is. Okay, and that right there, hey, man, if it doesn't happen, don't come over here to me. You got to go and find Hondo. He's very accessible, man. Very accessible on X. He's got platforms. He's got podcasts. Don't come over here, man. If Trey Hendrickson does not come to the Raiders, don't come over here, man, and start popping it like an ugly stripper, man, on a Saturday night, getting no dances. Okay? I'm going to definitely cook you, and I'm definitely going to block you. Just trying to let you know in advance, man. Okay? All right? So, it says right here, an NFL executive tells Las Vegas Raiders on SI, that's him, exclusively that the Raiders are the front runners in a potential landmark trade. Okay? Hondo Carpenter. Okay, Henderson, Nevada, the Las Vegas Raiders have clear needs, but those cannot be addressed. If those cannot be addressed, the second best option is to strengthen their existing strengths. Since May of this year, our reporting has offered considerable discussion about the Raiders making a bold move for a disgruntled Cincinnati Bengal D lineman by the name of Trey Hendrickson. This wasn't merely speculation. It was a topic of conversation in NFL circles that we're hearing. So what does that mean? He's saying that they've been talking about this since May. Hondo and his entire, his outfit has been on this story since May. And it wasn't just speculation. There was some heat to it, according to him. Before the spring owners meeting, multiple NFL people were already discussing the possibility. As a rift between the Bengals and Hendrickson continues to widen, speculation around the league has intensified. So he's saying, it's starting to get hot, bro. The pan is getting hotter. All right. No one anticipated this situation, especially considering that the Bengals struggles defensively. Nevertheless, many believe that if a trade were going to happen, the Raiders would be the viable contenders. Some even feel stronger than that. So what's he saying? He's saying, man, the Raiders have been the top team that has been discussed in NFL circles as being the ones to land Trey Hendrickson since the owners' meetings. Before that, all right, according to him, all right. So it says right here, Raiders are the front runners. In a conversation with an NFL executive on Tuesday, I was informed, Hondo Carpenter, quote, I have no doubt the Raiders are the front runner. Tom Brady and Mark Davis want to win now, and John Spytek has no fear when it comes to making bold moves. The kid, Hendrickson, is 30, and that move is the mentality of Pete Carroll, and he's not afraid of doing anything that would improve the team. When I inquired about this potential cost of acquiring Hendrickson, the executive said, quote, from what I hear, the Bengals are either seeking multiple picks or a combination of a pick and a player. They aren't particularly focused on one side of the ball, but their offense is exceptional, which is facts. With their defense is, it says excrement in parenthesis, which means shit, okay? I would speculate that a player and a third round pick would be sufficient to land him. So they're saying this executive who, if you are to believe this entire scenario, and I do believe it, that it was discussed, that one player and a third round pick would get it done. All right, let's go on to the next. Now here's the issues, because it sounds like it's so easy. All right, so it says right here, the Bengals owner Mike Brown has to be convinced. If Hendrickson joins the Raiders, it would significantly enhance their D-line along Max Crosby, posing a daunting a challenge for any opposing team. They would be impossible to double team. I've already said that. You get anybody on there, you got to pick your poison. And if I'm an offensive coordinator, I don't care who you put on the other side. I'm doubling Max, and I'm bringing over somebody to chip his ass. Okay, chip blocker. All right, I'm getting 3 over there. All right. So it says right here. That would be impossible to double team and can dominate like a fat journalist, perhaps looking like him, that's what he said, at a buffet table. Hendrickson is a model citizen. That means he's not a head case. He's not a cancer. He's not a basket case. He's not a malcontent. Okay? Embodying character and integrity, and has a work ethic and talent that could earn him respect of the locker room and superstar Max Crosby. Despite this, the Raiders still have legitimate concerns regarding their cornerback position. I told you guys that. That just justifies what I've been saying over here when I've been telling you your secondary is boo-boo kitty, all right? Your cornerback position is not popping. They're getting torched, all right? So does this trade address that at all? No. Hondo is saying that our legitimate concerns are more on the cornerback position, and does this help the cornerback position? No. All right. So even possessing one of the 4 best offenses in history, the New York Giants managed to defeat him in the Super Bowl with just a 4-man rush. So what he's saying is, with a 4-man rush, man, you might be able to get things done. Even though your best offense, you got pressure on the quarterback, anything can happen. So it says right here, the Raiders have nearly $35 million in cap space. It's a lot of money, bro. When I told you we were spending that much paper and we had a lot of money under the cap, we have a lot of money under the cap, man. $35 million as of right now. Okay, we have one more preseason game and then a regular season. We got all this money, bro, and got all these holes. What's going on? What is really going on? All right. And ownership is eager to send a message to the league. They want to demonstrate that they're committed to greatness and with a general manager and a coach aligned in their vision. The Raiders were not hesitant to pursue a deal for Matthew Stafford, which would have netted him $50 million per year for a 2-year contract totaling $100 million. But the only thing about that is Matthew Stafford played you. He used you as leverage to go back where he wanted to go, which is what always happens. Okay, Raiders are always used as the person to get somebody jealous. That's what it is. Okay. All right. This current regime, along with ownership, is no longer fearful of criticisms or paralyzed by indecisions, such as, quote, what if it doesn't work? Instead, they're thinking, what if it does? So they're saying, so what Hondo's saying is the glass is half full, not half empty. Initially, there was an expectation that Christian Wilkins would be a part of that roster and contribute this season, but that is no longer the case. Maybe kissing people on their heads, without permission is a problem. All right. I mean, it is. All right. Okay. Some even speculated a defensive line with Crosby, Wilkins, and Hendrickson could be a terrifying trio with the potential to move Hendrickson to the inside to create further havoc. But we don't have to worry about that because Christian Wilkins is not on the Raiders. And is he on any other team in the league? What happened to all these people that swore on their life they were ready to pick up Christian Wilkins the next day? Christian Wilkins isn't on any roster at this point. I wonder why. Okay, just because you said something doesn't mean that the people in the locker room want that to happen. So if he were to arrive now, it would be defensive end solely. So in other words, he would be on the defensive end. He wouldn't be playing D-line. He would be a D lineman. He'd be defensive end. He'd be an edge rusher. Still, this addition would undoubtedly still fear in opposing the offenses, transforming the Raiders into an even more formidable defensive unit, with an offense inspiring this team to think bigger. So in other words, a Trey Hendrickson move would definitely move us into the we need to be paying attention what the Raiders are doing level. All right. The NFL thinks this would be a no-brainer move for the Raiders. 1 year before Davante Adams was traded to the Raiders, we reported discussions happened around the NFL to set the deal in motion. Is that occurring now? So what is he saying? He's saying, man, that before Davante came over, they were throwing that name around of Davante coming to the Raiders, only for it to happen the next season. So I think what Hondo is saying is don't be prepared for it to happen immediately. It could be something that happens next year. All right. Mark Davis has already proven he'll do anything to win. Tom Brady and other new minority owners haven't had their repetitive success asking why it won't work. A GM, a coach of both whom covet winning and competition, like most people, crave oxygen. So in other words, it's in their bloodstream. The NFL thinks this is a no-brainer move. And he said that is why they don't want it to happen. So what is he saying? The NFL thinks it's a no-brainer, but they don't want the Raiders to make that move, bro. Like I keep telling you, it's always us versus them, bro. And that's it. That's it, man. Okay? So salute to Hondo Carpenter, man. Always a good read. Always very, very much under control. Always very much in flux. And what he's saying is he talked to somebody that's an NFL executive who would know what's being said and what's being going on because that's their job. And he's saying that the Raiders are the front runners. But Hondo is also saying it could happen next year. It doesn't mean it's going to happen immediately. And does that fix the concern of the defensive backfield? No, it doesn't. All right. So these are the things that we need to be concentrating on. Okay. Need to be concentrating on these things, and we'll find out soon enough. Now, the reason why you're here. Okay. All right, man, that motor oil. The reason why you're here is you want to know what do I think, and I'm going to tell you what I think. All right. So let me say you what I think, then I'm going to read you guys' comments. All right. Number one, I didn't want to talk about this subject, bro. I've been avoiding it. All right. Because it irritates me to talk about something so much that may happen. Like, I don't want to talk about it ad nauseum and it don't happen. That to me, that's just a waste of my time to be talking about a coulda, woulda, shoulda. And that's what it is. At this point, it's a coulda, woulda, shoulda, bro. Because all Mike Brown has to do as the owner of the Bengals is to pay him his money. You pay Hendrickson his money. We don't got to worry. We don't have nothing to talk about. Then we spend all this time talking about it. Okay, but due to the fact that Hondo said that there's more smoke than fire on this at this point, it's starting to get kind of smoky in here. I'm going to talk on it. He's speaking on it. He talked to an insider, NFL executive, and they're saying, hey, right now, man, the word on the curb is the Raiders are the front runners. But being a front runner don't mean that you're inside. It just means you're at the front of the line. The store ain't opened yet. Okay, you could be in front of the line all you want to. What if the store don't open? You don't go inside. So that's the first thing. I didn't want to talk about it, man, because I don't want to talk about coulda, woulda, shouldas. But since it's looking like it's something that needs to be discussed, I'm going to discuss it. And plus, a no Raider guy has been pressing it. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. All right. Here's what I think. I think that the Cincinnati Bengals, and this is what it's about. It's not about the Raiders. It's about Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati drew their line in the sand when they paid T. Higgins all that money. They paid T. Higgins a shit ton of money. They re-signed Jamar Chase for a shit ton of money, and Joe Burrow is getting a shit ton of money. So they're keying on the offense. They're saying, what's more important, bro? What do the Houday fans want to see? Do they want to see a guy sack a quarterback 16, 17 times a season, or do they want to see a prolific offense? And they chose the offense. Trey Hendrickson is like, well, I don't care what they chose. I need to get paid because I led the league in sacks last year. All right. So I think that they're willing to play ball, but why are they in a hurry? They're not in a hurry. OK, he is under contract. They're going to fine him. He's already getting fined. OK, they're going to sit back and wait and see who's going to come with the best deal. The Raiders have the money. We have the money. We can pay him. We $35 million under the cap. We can move some shit around. We can restructure some deals. I know Max would restructure his deal. I'm sure that Gino would restructure his deal. OK, and Christian Wilkins is off the books. Where do you think we got the $35 million under the cap from? Where do you think we got the $35 million that you guys are running around talking about get Trey Hendrickson, but you guys are also, a lot of y'all are the guys that said that we shouldn't have got rid of Christian Wilkins, and Christian Wilkins is somebody we should have kept. Nah, you ain't gonna get them both. You cut Christian Wilkins and kept the money. Now you got $35 million plus moving some things around, and you can get you a whole Trey Hendrickson. Okay, possibly. All right. So with that being said, I think that it's a good chance, bro. I think I'm willing to say, I don't want to put a percentage on it, but I'm willing to say it's more likely than not it can happen. The issue is it going to happen this year? Okay, that's the key. Trey Hendrickson can sit out all year, and the Bengals could just let him sit. All right. He hasn't been at practice. He hasn't been at training camp. He hasn't been a part of the team activities. They already pretty much have played all these games. They're already looking like Hendrickson's not going to be there. But at the end of the day, man, we'll just sit you and let you sit there. Okay, either you come in camp and you pay to play because your contract is an extension. What you want is a contract extension, not a this is my salary. No, your contract is still valid. So if you want to sit over there and you want to get fined on top of fines, on top of fines, on top of fines, and sit there and wait and see if we find something we like, then that's what it is. All right. Trey Hendrickson doesn't have the leverage that he thought. All right. Because right now he's not getting anything accomplished at this point, but that doesn't mean it can't. All right. In regards to the Raiders, man, like I said before, the Raiders have the money. All right. The Raiders have the money, and the Raiders can restructure their deal. But what do the Bengals want? And that's the key. You don't get to go in there and tell them, here's what we're giving you for him, because it ain't that type of party. It is call the Bengals, and the Bengals tell you what they would do it for. Okay? All right? What would they do it for? Based on what's being said, a player and a third-round pick. Now, we got to talk about what player that's going to be. Okay? What player? Now, let's get this out the way. I do not want you guys to put down AOC, Aiden O'Connell. Let's trade Aiden O'Connell, because Aiden O'Connell is the person that you want to get rid of, dog. That's not how that works, man. Why are you thinking you're going to offer me something that you don't want for something that you want? No, that's not how negotiation works. If you don't value AOC, I don't value it. So why would I do that trade? So let's get that out the way, man. It ain't going to be no AOC and a draft pick for him when I got Joe Burrow, who's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. All right. No, you got to do better than that. All right. So who would you let go? Well, we already know who you're not going to let go. All right. We already know Max is untradeable. We already know Genty's untradeable. And we already know Geno's untradeable. Okay? And we already know that Brock Bowers is untradeable. To me, those are the 4 players that I think that are untradeable on our team. I think those 4 players are untradeable. Okay? Then there's other people that might not be tradable, that you might be considered. Okay? What are the players that I think that might not be, not guaranteed not to be traded, but probably won't be traded? Okay, a Colton Miller probably won't be traded. A Jacoby Meyer probably won't be traded. Any of our young assets at the wide receiving core, Jack Besh, a Dante Thornton, some of these younger dudes. Okay, I don't think Isaiah Powell-Miles going anywhere. All right, but I think there's other pieces that might be able to go somewhere. All right, okay, outside of our kicking game, they're not going to be touched. All right, so when I say the name who I think, let's see what you think. I think that the person that could be expendable right now, trade him, and a 3rd round pick would be Malcolm Kuntz. Malcolm Kuntz, man. Okay? Now, I know what you guys are saying, man. You don't want to trade Malcolm Kuntz. No, man, we get rid of Kuntz, man. This is the problem. This is the problem, Raider fan. This is the problem. You want, but you don't want to give up. You want, but you don't want to give up nothing. You think you're going to get something for something that you do not desire to have. I'm just going to give him something that I'm willing to let go for nothing, and I'm going to get the guy who led the National Football League in sacks last year, bro. I got to keep bringing that up. Malcolm Kuntz is somebody who I love, you love, your mama love, grandmama love. Everybody want him, dog. But let's keep it a buck. Malcolm Kuntz has not had a good camp. Malcolm Kuntz, his coming back from his injury has not been stellar. I'm telling you, I went to training camp. I did not see Malcolm Kuntz at the practices. I didn't see him in the drills. I didn't see him doing anything. And then at the scrimmage, I didn't see him. And neither have you. You haven't seen Kuntz do much, if anything. Okay? He's not having a good camp. Malcolm Kuntz, love you, bruh. You're a Raider. You're always going to be welcome, bruh. But just win, baby. I need to win a Super Bowl, bro. I got to make moves. I can't sit up here, man, and play favorites, bro. Okay? Hey, if I was the general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders and they called me up and they were willing to just say, hey, you want Trey Hendrickson? Give us Malcolm Kuntz. We'll take Malcolm Kuntz and a 3rd round pick. Malcolm Kuntz is not a Raider. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I know a lot of you guys have never even seen Trey Hendrickson. You haven't seen the tape. You don't understand what that would mean. Okay? I would do it. I would do it right now. I would do it like, hold my beer. I would do it like, what do I need to fax over? I'd do it, hey man, get the playbook from old boy. Hey man, Trey Hendrickson, Tyree Wilson, who finally showed up. Tyree Wilson finally showed up, bro. Him, Tyree Wilson, Aaron Butler, and the Condor on that D line. Hey, you can come back after your career, man, and we'll cheer for you, bruh. But if that happens, gotta go, bruh. Gotta go, dog. Gotta go, okay? Gotta get up out of here. All right? So that's what I'm saying, man. And that's the thing that you guys have to work out. You fans of this team, you guys got to work out your little crushes that you guys have. Y'all got these little crushes that y'all got these little crushes on these dudes on the team, which sounds crazy. that you just can't see yourself parting with a certain. You just can't see it. You want all this shit to happen, but you can't let an asset go for a better asset. I mean, Malcolm Kuntz is a good player, but he's not Trey Hendrickson, bro. Okay, when you're mentioning edge rushers and you're mentioning D linemen that get to the quarterback, you're gonna mention 4 dudes, 5 guys. You're gonna put them in however order you want to put them in: Crosby, Watt, Garrett, Parsons, Hendrickson. That's it. Line them however you want to line them up, but you better have those 5. Okay, you better put all 5 of those in your top 5. All right, however you line them up, all 5 of those guys. So you're talking about an opportunity for the Raiders to have 2 top 5 edge rushers on the field at the same time. You crazy as hell if you ain't gonna do that, bro. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you if you ain't willing to take the top. Now, I'll tell you this, because, like I said, there's a lot of casuals in the nation. A lot of casuals. You say Michael Parsons, they gonna jump on that immediately because that's somebody they know. Hendrickson doesn't play on a high-profile team that's in all the markets. Even though the Bengals are a perennial playoff team, the Cowboys is a marquee team. Everybody knows Michael Parsons. You guys don't know Trey Hendrickson. I mean, I had some guys, when I talked about him, they didn't know he was white. They thought he was a brother. His name is Trey. His last name is Hendrickson. Sounds black to me. I mean, how many white Treys do you know? I know a whole bunch of black Treys, okay? But they didn't even know Trey Hendrickson. Hey, Trey Hendrickson's white? I'm like, stop talking to me, bro. Okay, stop it. All right? They didn't have no idea, bro. They just know his name. They know his numbers, but they don't know what he looks like physically. They didn't have no idea. Okay? So, hey, man, who else can float that boat for the Bengals? The Bengals will get somebody who's younger, whose contract is a lot more able to be digested, even though Kuntz got his extension. Kuntz's money isn't that much. They get somebody who's younger. Hendrickson is 30. Okay. And they get somebody who has a possibility of being an upside later with, if he gets back in his knee. And they're not really prioritizing their defense because they put their money on the offensive side of the ball. They figure we'll just outscore everybody. Oh yeah, our defense might be a little porous, but we'll outscore everybody. Okay? So that's what's going on, bro. So what does Matthew Shack Unfiltered think? What does the 3-ringer think? I think, man, if we can make that move, man, with a minimal dent in our shit, I'm with it. Let's do it. Okay? Let's do it. Because at this point, bro, our defense is in trouble. That secondary, man, is not up to par. And if it's not going to get better, then the best thing you can do is to have a pass rush to give the quarterback less time. If the quarterback has 4 or 5 seconds to throw the ball, we're getting cooked. If the quarterback has 2 to 3 seconds, don't matter. Everybody can cover 2 seconds. Everybody can cover a couple of seconds off the snap. 1001, 1002. Oh shit, the pocket's collapsing on me. 1001, 1002, 1003, collapse. When you start doing 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, when you get to 4, that's your ass, bro. You done. Okay? But if you got a pass rush that's formidable, they don't matter what you can do. Ask Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Okay? Those of us that were extremely happy that they got their doors blown off. Why? Because that defensive pass rush, they did not blitz not one time. They had a 4-man rush, and they overpowered the Chiefs' O-line so bad, Mahomes got sacked 7 times, dog. A quarterback who we know is mobile, a quarterback who we know is elusive, a quarterback who we know can run, a quarterback who has the arm talent that's just the best in the league, couldn't get a pass off because that collapsed. That pocket wasn't even 2 seconds. He's in a snap form. He wasn't even in under center. He was in pistol. 1001, 1000. Oh my God. You couldn't even say 2. They was on his ass like back pockets, bro. Okay? And that's what we need. Secondary had an easy job. Them cats in the secondary for the Eagles had an easy ass job. Like, man, shit. We could just sit back here, man, and make a fried bologna sandwich, man, and go to the store and get some Miracle Whip to go with it and a pack of Pringles, and nothing's happening. Be open all you want. You're not getting anything done. So for me, hey, man, all this speculation is beautiful, bro. I it's great. But if it isn't going to happen, dog, I'm kind of like, man, why are you, why are you getting me all prepared for a steak and lobster dinner, and I walk in the door, man, and it's liver and onions, bro. Like, oh, well, we didn't have no tomahawk, so Shaq, here's some liver and onions. I'm like, man, let me get up out of here, man. I'll go through the drive-thru and eat this bullshit, okay? So that's why I'm like, I didn't want to talk about it, but I brought it up, man, because we seems to have a little bit of smoke. But Hondo also gave himself a buffer when he said that it took a year for the Davante Adams to come over. Talked about it the year before, and the next season is when it happened. So who's to say Trey Hendrickson will be over, this season? It could be next season. So that's what I say about it. But if it could be done, bro, you got to figure out who you're giving up. I just told you who I'm not giving up. There's only a few players that's untradeable on my team. I just named them. There's about 5 guys on my team that's untradeable. Then you got the guys who shouldn't be traded, and then you got everybody else. All right? So Malcolm Kuntz, man, is the guy that, we know Malcolm Kuntz over here. We've been supporting him since day one, but he hasn't had a good camp. And if they want him and they want a 3rd-round pick and we can get Trey Hendrickson, bro, we need to make that move, dog. Ain't no talking about it, man. Okay? All right, man. Sorry. So here we go, man. Let me read you guys' comments, dog, and see what you guys saying, man. But like I said before, I'm just here so I don't get fined, and I'm here to let you guys know, man. This is a subject that I didn't talk about. Have you seen? Have I talked about it? Have I brought it up? Nope. Okay? And make sure you guys are picking up the unfiltered merch. As you can see, every day, dog, I'm fresh to death, dog, every day. Okay? Go get it. MatthewShackUnfiltered.com, man. Okay? Don't cheat yourself. Do what? Treat yourself, man. Come on, dog. All right, man. Okay? Get out of that dirty ass wife beater you got on, man, and throw on some clothes, bruh. All right, man. Okay. All right, man. Winnington Thomas, what's goody? What's goody, big dog? Said, do you think Trey's coming? I don't see it. Let's see. I just told you what I thought. I really think that if there is a trade, the Raiders are first and foremost. But at the end of the day, man, they don't have to trade them. And even Hondo said that it could be a year. Like, the Bengals are the ones that hold all the cards. The Bengals are going to be the ones that are going to decide what happened. If something ain't for sale, it ain't for sale, bro. Don't matter what you offer for it. Okay? I remember John Wick 1, bro. Okay? I bring that up all the time. John Wick is loading up the gas in the whip. And the Russian kid comes up and says, how much? And he says, she's not for sale. And he said, of course, everything's for sale. He said, she's not for sale. And then he said some crazy shit in Russian. And John Wick said some crazy shit back in Russian. Okay, and then it was on and popping at that point. Okay, that's how the whole movie started. All right. So if something ain't for sale, it ain't for sale, bro. It is what it is. Okay. You can ask Chloe out every way you possibly can, but if she has a boyfriend and she ain't willing to cheat on him, there's nothing you could do. You're just sitting there just flapping your gums for nothing. So that's why I didn't want to do that. I'm like, man, why am I talking about coulda, woulda, shouldas? All right. What's going on, Isaac? What's going on, man? All right, man. All right, man. Arleon, what's going on, man? Just got off, man. Right on time, man. Yeah, I'm here for you guys. Okay, let's get this subject popping. I'm on it. I'm on it, man. I'm on it. Okay. All right, man. Bill Holloway, what's going on? Big Beezy in the building. All right, man. King Josh, what's good, nephew? I don't think he's coming. I mean, I'm willing to say that I like I said, I'm not keen on it. I'm not. The Bengals don't have no sense of urgency to move them, dog. They've been letting this shit simmer forever. Okay? And no sense of urgency, bro. No sense of urgency when it comes to this. All right, man. Said, I sure hope so. What's going on, man? Dr. Feelgood in the building. All right, man. No blazing one for the nation on this topic, man. Bill, you working? No, man. I'm not blazing one for the nation, man. It is way too hot, man, right now, bro. It's way too hot, dog. It's hot. It's cooking out here, bro. It's very hot. All right, so no, I'm not blazing one to the nation on this one. Maybe later when it cools down, man. But it's been a very hot day. Plus, I'm very sleepy. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. I've been getting up extra early, man, because now my son is we got to commute to take him. Ain't no down the block or around the corner and shit. Nah, we got to take his ass and fight traffic back to get him where you got to go, dog. So I'm definitely not adjusted yet. All right, man. I'm gonna lay my ass down after I get off with you guys. All right, man. What's going on? Justice Saab was happening, big dog. Okay, what's happening? Said he eating that. Bill's always eating something good. He's probably eating a moose steak or something. Okay, I see those 111s in the house. Okay, I would love to have Trey. I would love to. All right, man. I would love it too, man. Tony Brizzle in the house. What's going on, Tony Brown? King Josh, what do you think is going to have to give up to get him? Well, based on what Hondo's insider said, it would take a player and a third-round draft pick. A player. What player would that be? What players are you willing to give up? That's the key. Oh, AOC? Nah, throw that out, bro. Stop it. All right? You want to give up the least thing to get the best thing. No, they're not interested in that. They're not interested in no AOC, bro. Okay? You're going to have to give up an asset. All right? You're going to have to give up an asset. You gave up Ja'Cory and Bennett. The Raiders are already showing the NFL they're willing to give up an asset to get something, bro. Okay? All right? To get Thomas Booker, you had to give up Jay Bennett. And the Eagle fans are saying that they fleeced us. We'll soon see. Okay? So, what do you think the Bengals are going to do? Take AOC off your hands and you can just go ahead and have Hendrickson? That's not going to happen. Okay? All right? Plus, your second-string quarterback, your team player that would be the second-string quarterback doesn't know the offense like that in Cam Miller. Cam Miller doesn't know that. That's why AOC's not going nowhere at this point. Okay? So, I'm saying Malcolm Kuntz. Because Malcolm Kuntz, like I said, has not had a good camp. He isn't playing, and he is an edge rusher. And when healthy, he can handle his business, and he's younger, and it might be something they might be willing to do. Okay, but I don't foresee that happening overnight. All right, they're probably still hoping that he'll show up and play. All right, man. Straight up, Big B in the building. I wouldn't mind if we trade a couple of picks, Tyree Wilson and Michael McCool. Nah, that's not gonna happen. Tyree Wilson is not going to work. Tyree Wilson right now is in a good position with Pete and them. Tyree Wilson isn't in the doghouse for the first time in his career. We'll see what happens on Saturday, but as of now, he is not in the doghouse. Tyree Wilson isn't in the doghouse right now, man. Tyree Wilson is in the best. He's in the best shape as far as being a player that's going to start any time in his career. Right now, he is where they want him at. Let's see if he can keep it consistent, his consistency, but they like what they see right now, okay? And I do too, all right? And I do too. So Coach said that Kuntz is playing like a player who had a lower leg injury and still gushy. I'm just telling you what's going on. The Bengals are not, their defense isn't a priority. Maybe they'll be willing to make that move. Okay, something just to concentrate on. All right, man. Hey, man, I'm looking down at the pool, man. The shooby-dooby count is crazy out here, dog. You don't even understand. All right. Okay. Now this is something that something new. I didn't hear from Hondo. I believe Hondo. Hey, man, it's all right here, bro. I'm not gonna take credit for something that ain't mine. Okay, I don't do that. All right. I don't take credit for things that ain't mine. All right. Right here, all this is Hondo. See, look. Hondo Carpenter. This is him. This is his entire article, bro. All of this, everything I read was Hondo. Okay? All right? And I don't think Hondo's capping, bro. I think Hondo did speak to somebody. But Hondo also understood what fan base he's dealing with. He understood, don't be just saying something and it don't happen. That's why he said, well, we also said the same thing about Devontae Adams a year before he got traded. And that was his little, just to let you know, it could happen next year. Okay, which is true. All right, straight up. Okay, that's why I'm on here. Yeah, you say what it is, not what it ain't. Facts. Kuntz is injured. I'm just saying he's coming back from his injury. At this point, I don't give a damn. Right, trade as long as the Condor. Well, come on, man. We're not even going to talk about things that's ridiculous. Okay, I just told you there's 5 players that are absolutely untradeable. Okay, I already said it. You remember say it again? Okay. I'm telling you now. Brock Bowers. Okay. Geno Smith. Ashton Genty. Um, the Condor. Who's the fifth person that I said? Might only be four, to be honest. Who else is untradeable? I think that's pretty much it. Okay. I think we only got four dudes. All right, man. All right, per Pete. Fact Henderson is a monster. He is. Condor and Henderson would be a great duo. I mean, you can't make that shit up. Yeah, man. But you can talk about something that ain't gonna happen too. Okay. You know, Bill Holloway said, "What do we have to do that do? Who do we have that would want that's available? Coops. It would be a trade, regardless. It's not a free agency situation. It's a trade. I went to Isaiah Bill talking ain't no player. Heck, I can imagine. I see you. Multiple picks. I wouldn't give up multiple picks. I was thinking that was going to be a couple of first-round picks for him. But you're talking about a third round. Yeah, let's go up in for it then. Picks. What's going on? Knockout. Said when I see Henderson on the sideline, it seems like he's just waiting for a trade. Yeah, man, he's waiting to go. He don't want to be there no more. Same with Kuntz. I mean, same with Michael Parsons. But Michael Parsons is going to get his money, and he's going to once that check clears and he sees all those zeros, he'll be all right. Okay. All right, man. All right. Salute to the goons. All right, man. Henderson is clearly not happy. Nope. Yeah, man. Straight up. Sarah K. Scott. I'm just waiting on my Steelers to come on at 4 p.m. It's 1:10 right now in Chandler, Arizona. Ooh. Yeah, you guys are gonna come on at 4. I mean, I'm definitely gonna be watching two things at once, man. Let's see what time it is, man. What time is it? It's 4:01, man. All right, man. We're gonna go ahead and go. All right. Love all y'all, man. We got too much stuff to watch. I'm going to be watching the Yankee game and watching the Steelers at the same time. But I just gave you guys a synopsis of what I thought. And I guess we will soon find out what happens soon enough. All right. Love all y'all, man. Enjoy yourselves, man. Because I know I am. I'm at the checker filter.